All right, puppers, this is an interesting one. So, when we found this movie, we were just like, all right, we got another Purrfectly Pawful plan for us.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were ready.
Slotherhouse.
Yes.
We saw the title, we saw the thumbnail, and we were just like, it's Velocipaster all over again.
I was ready for
Let's
it to be
do
terrible.
This. Yes. We watched it, and it was surprisingly decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it knew what it wanted to do.
And it did that.
And it accomplished it. And the only thing stupid was the premise. But everything else, it played straight.
It was
you
kind of,
couldn't make jokes.
like it was kind of good.
It was way too clever, or at least for me to riff on. Probably an expert riffer could riff it easily.
Yeah.
But for us, we were just like, I don't want to pick this apart. This is actually kind of charming.
Yeah, it had its own vibe, for sure.
So instead, this is a Pupcorn Mewvies of why we recommend you check out Slotherhouse.
So, it was directed by Matthew Goodhue.
Okay. Is this a directorial debut, or?
No.
Okay.
So it looks like he's been making movies since before 2017.
Cool.
About a movie every year, with the exception of during the pandemic. So
That's what I want to do with my game.
Yeah. It definitely shows that, like, there's a lot of artistry. There's a lot of really nice details in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that it didn't try to be too serious.
Me too.
Because I was really worried whenever it was like, Emily has a stolen sloth from the jungle. I'm like, really? We're going to have a sorority bitch going through the jungle stealing sloths out of trees? Like, it just didn't seem like it would be something that would be, in a weird way, realistic enough. Like, a horror slasher film is not really supposed to be super realistic, but it has to have some sense of truth to it.
Okay.
Where it's like, yeah, I can definitely see like a group of college kids going out to an abandoned cabin and playing on a Ouija board. Like, that's very realistic. Nazi zombies are not, but like them getting to the situation is real enough. Mm-hmm. So I do like how this movie had that sense of realism. Like, you could see the situation itself without the killer sloth. You could kind of see that actually happening.
Okay.
Of like, this girl just wants to be super popular and have lots of followers on social media.
Yeah.
So, like...
I liked how enjoyable, even the shitty characters, we had an enjoyable cast that was acted well. And I was just like, well, damn, here we go. And the sloth was just this hokey...
Oh, it was so charming.
Goofy,
I love that it was a puppet.
Puppet, exactly.
Yeah, I like that they didn't CG it. I like that it wasn't too fake. Like, it wasn't like Choopy, where it's some kid in a costume.
It was closer to Gremlins.
Yeah, it was very clearly a puppet, like an animatronic. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like a 5-year-old in a sloth costume, So, I think it was fun.
And it had some creative kills. Oh my god.
I do, we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but I do really love the part where...
Well, because there's really not a plot. The plot's in the synopsis.
Yeah.
You get what the movie states.
It's a slasher movie. So, like, for anybody familiar with slasher movies, it doesn't really have, like, a twist or... an arcing climactic plot. It quite literally is just the killer kills everyone.
Yeah.
Like, that is
instead of
the
like
idea of a slasher.
A psycho killer, it's
a sloth.
A sloth. A killer sloth.
But I love in the beginning.
And there's no context of like, it's a mutant sloth. It's
no,
an
it's
alien.
just angry.
It's just
an
pissed off
aggressive sloth. But, like, in the very beginning, like, in the opening scene, the sloth is just, like, hanging out in a tree, just being cute, being a sloth. And then, like, a crocodile, like, snags it from the tree, and you see, like, blood blooming in the water, and you're just like, aw, poor sloth. And then all of a sudden, you see, like, the gator floats belly up, and then the sloth claw just climbs out of the river, and you're just like, oh, shit. Okay.
As the overly dramatic music plays. See, that was the moment when I was just like, we're in for some real
we're in for a ride.
dog shit.
Yeah, we're in for a ride.
And then we actually got to the characters, and it had good cinematography, and I was just like, holy shit.
So there is no, like, explanation as to why the sloth is so aggressive.
Scorpio Pictures, take notes.
I know, right? That's all I could think of. It's like, come on, man. See, it's not that hard. They took a ridiculous idea, and they made a good movie. And then they're like, well, we took 18 good movies and made a really long, bad movie.
Hold on. So, like, how far into the career of this director, or even, like, the studio that made this movie, is this, like, their 5th movie? Is this, like, their 8th movie?
I think this is the 7th for the
I'd
director.
like to see their first movie. Just to see their starting point.
It's fair. I mean, for Scorpion Productions...
Even if it's absolute dog shit, I'd be like, that's very inspiring.
Yeah, because you can see the growth.
You see the growth, exactly.
Well, I think that Scorpion, their first one was their best one.
Yeah, that was
funny enough.
And
it just got progressively worse. But it does explain, like, when the sloth is captured and it's in the cage... The guy that has the sloth is giving it medicine to keep it calm. And then whenever the sorority girl gets the sloth, she loses the medication. So the sloth goes apeshit. So that's why it's like killing everyone. Like, it's always been aggressive, but it was medicated.
I think the weirdest thing...
It was like me.
God. Was in the first half, and like I liked this change. In the first half, it's very much like a killer sloth, like an animal.
Yeah.
In the second half, it's very much a killer puppet.
Yeah.
It dances. I think it wields a sword at one point. It takes selfies with its victims. That's where
I lost my shit. So there's a girl in the hospital that was like maimed by a car. And the sloth drives all the way to the hospital and takes a selfie with her. Posts it on social media and was like, how should I kill you? #killer sloth. I was like, what the hell? Like, it was so hokey that it was good.
Yeah. I only had one complaint, and it's a complaint I have with a lot of, like, horror slasher movies. How many times can you kill your villain before they're dead? I understand there's, like, the trademark fake out.
Yeah.
But this movie does it, like, 3 different times.
No, that sloth dies so many times. I can see, like, whenever it's thrown out the window, how it could survive that. I could even see, like, I think it was, like, stabbed. I could see that. But this bitch was stabbed. It was shot multiple times. It was, sliced with a katana. It was impaled in the head.
Yeah.
I think it was, like, electrocuted at some point.
It was electrocuted early on. It was, it was shot at.
And it just wouldn't die. And I'm like, okay, this is the Michael Myers of sloths. But
other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was inspiring.
Yeah.
It was one of those very bad where I was just like, I could do that. But also, like, clever enough to be like, I need some practice, but eventually I could probably do something like that.
Because even, like, the filming, it was done well. Like, because I said the same thing
also,
about...
you could tell everyone was having fun.
Oh, yeah. I love the part, though, it's like, because the whole point is there's a sorority, and the sloth becomes, like, the mascot of this sorority. And they were having their... election, I guess, of who the new president of the sorority would be.
Yep.
And that's like when the sloth starts killing everyone. And you were just like, where's her boyfriend? And I'm like, it's covered because this is a sorority event. So there would be no boyfriends there.
Yeah.
It would just be the girls.
Well, because he stops to drop her off, and then he skedaddles.
Yeah, and then he's gone. So I like that it cleverly introduces, like, a smaller cast in a way that makes sense. And even, like, the weird cultiness of, like, sororities of Greek life. But they did it with an artistry that, like, I don't know, it looked nice. It looked nice. It flowed well.
Another great point you brought up was these are clearly actors.
Yeah.
And not like
they're not like
Scorpion Productions, where it's just like, hey, I'll buy you Burger King if you do a couple scenes for me.
Like, you can tell that these people are trained. Like, they have talent and skill. And you can tell that they were having fun, but they were also there to play a role.
Yeah.
They were believable as characters versus, my leg, 'tis broken. Like, they didn't just pull people off the street.
Now we have to ask, because we're obviously recommending this movie, how would we rate it? Because I'd let that sloth sleep at the foot of my bed.
I would definitely take it for a walk to sleep at the foot of my bed.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason is, like, as much as I enjoy...
It's gonna dig those claws in you while you give it a walk.
As much as I enjoy horror slasher movies, like, they have to be really fucking good for me to like, enjoy a slasher movie. Like, I'm definitely...
This was better than a lot of serious slasher movies. Like,
yeah.
I enjoyed this. I haven't enjoyed a slasher movie this much since, like, the Scream sequels.
Yeah. Because I'm not, like, a big slasher fan. I would rather watch a horror movie.
See, I'm the opposite.
So I definitely think it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't too serious. But it also, like, it didn't play it as, like, a dark comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It had, like, funny moments, but it wasn't, like, designed to be a dark comedy.
I thought it was.
Well, dark comedy would be more like, think of American Psycho when he's, like, dancing with the chainsaw to, like, cut someone up.
I got you. Okay.
Where this, it had, like, the jump scare. It had kind of the fear
All right.
behind the slasher versus the comedy behind the slasher, in my opinion.
Okay. I didn't feel that, but again, I'm not well versed in those genres, and I don't scare easily depending on what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like a B-tier slasher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fun. It's definitely like...
It's a good time.
Grab a couple drinks and, you know, some snacks and just have fun.
You could do a lot worse.
Yeah.
Like, we were just scrolling through, like, Sharktopus or whatever, just scrolling through, and we're like, Slotherhouse. Hey, that'll be a fun video to do. Why not?
Yeah.
We got our notebooks ready.
And then we started watching it, and I was like, this is actually kind of really well filmed.
Invested. Whereas there's movies in Purrfectly Pawful, like Young Van Helsing's one, Woman in the Woods is another, where we have to pause just to, like, take a breath.
Yeah. Yeah. But I even really enjoyed, like, when they're texting and, like, their own little bubble pops up with information about that person.
Yeah.
I just think that's a really unique way of giving character to these actresses and actors that they don't have enough screen time to develop that character, so they just kind of like
they're just
spoon feed you what that character is going to be, like what their role is, without having to develop them.
It's creative and it fits the whole theme of the movie. Absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
So, puppers, have you seen Slotherhouse? Let us know your thoughts. If not, check it out.
It's on Hulu.
You won't be disappointed. All right. We'll see you all with the next review. Will it be a Purrfectly Pawful, or will it actually be another review? We'll find out.